You probably don't keep up with the news, neither do I. So I created this AI agent, which gets the latest news for us and summarizes it in an instant. It's also going to send it to our interface, which we built with Lovable. So that means you can access it anywhere with your phone. You should have to click latest news and you get the latest news summarized for you alongside a link if you want to read more into it. So yeah, let's get right into it. Like I said, we're going to be using Lovable and N8N to create this. So I'll show you step by step the whole process for the back end and the front end. All right, here's a quick demo of how it works. So we're going to be, this is the interface that we created in Lovable. All you have to do is click latest news, and then it's going to run this N8N workflow. Grab those articles from the website that we put in. It's going to create a summary, get the links, and then respond to our Lovable right here, which will fill it out in these three boxes if there's three articles. The time just hit 12 a.m. for me, so there's probably going to be one article that shows up here. So let's see. So never mind. I grabbed three articles that was closest to the time that we have. One of them is right now, 12 a.m. that just got created. And if we go into like this one, for example, it is Wednesday. Yeah, so it's today. But these ones are closer to, this one's also, yeah, this one's also today. Cool. It's only this one then that has June 24th. Yeah. Yeah, so it's only this one that generated the time closest to 12 a.m. here. But anyways, those articles are summarized in here. So as you can see here, Donald Trump's government style is marked by unpredictability, creating challenges in international relations, especially. And then, so this just summarizes the full article, and then you can just click that link, read it through. I am using The Guardian for the news, but you could choose any news channel website that you want. Let's get right into the N8N first, and then afterwards I'll go through the Lovable and how to create something similar to this, or how to create any sort of a program that you want with Lovable. On our N8N, we're going to be having a webhook as our trigger, which just means that once we click this button, it's going to trigger this workflow. So it's going to be a post, obviously. And then on the path, you can name it whatever you want. And then you want to click using respond to webhook node, which will allow us to respond back to that. And that's how this data is received on the Lovable side. So once you do that webhook trigger, you want to connect to a HTTP request. And we're going to be using API for this. So like I said, in my case, I'm using The Guardian as my news website. You could search up The Guardian on here, or you could do BBC or whatever other news website that you want. That doesn't really matter. But once you grab that, you want to add it into your saved tasks. And then on here, what you want to do is just grab this task ID right after the task slash. So it's going to be this right here. You just grab that. And then on our endpoint for the HTTP request, it's going to be a post. This is going to be the endpoint. And then this is where you put the task ID. You'll do run, sync, get data set items, exactly how I have it. I'll have the template as well, so if you want to just grab it, you could do that. And the only field for the query parameters is going to be the token. And this is where you put your API key. I'll have this blurred out, but that's where you put your API key. And then what you want to do is do JSON, and then using JSON, you want to grab the input from your task. So right here, in my case, the input for this is going to be, you click JSON, and then you just copy this. Once you copy that, you paste that in there. And then what you want to change is the time, the date from. So this is, I set it as now.format. I formatted it to year, month, and then day, so that we can get the latest news articles. And it doesn't give us any other article there. And then in my case, I did do US politics. So this is the exact URL if you want that. But obviously on The Guardian, there are different types of news, not just politics. You could do world or business, soccer, Ukraine. You could do anything else that you want for this. All you have to do is just change up that URL. And then the method, you just keep it the same. And so that is the scraping part. And on my case, I did aggregate it. So I put it under one list in the data, just so it's easier for me. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to aggregate it. You can directly put it into that AI agent. But in my case, I aggregated it. So once I did that, this is where the actual summarizing happens. Okay, so on the AI agent, what you want to do on the user message is just give it what information it has. Once we aggregate it, it does create this big list. What we're going to do is scroll down to the text, and then you want to do articles. I guess I did articles, and then I gave it each article that it had and its links. So it should just be, once you grab the text one, all you have to really do is just change the indexes from 0 to 1, for example. You could just do 1, and then that'll grab the other article down here. Where is it at? Right here, yeah. So I'll grab the other articles. You just have to give it each article that it has. And then on the system message, what we want to do is give this prompt just saying, you are my AI news assistant. I'll give you one or more news articles, and then your task is to extract and present useful information. And I told it what to do. So write a short, clear title, and then provide a sentence, like 1 to 2 sentence summary of the key points. You could make this longer just so you can get like more details from the article itself. So it creates that title, the summary, and then the source, the link, which is what we see right here. So it creates that title, summary, and then the link right there. And then that's what it will send out. And then I had AI generate this prompt for me, obviously, with some tweaking and stuff. I told it to create like objects, like emojis for like the title, source, and the summary, so that I can have it generate a code right here, which will just separate those into 3 different parts: title, summary, and link. And what it's actually going based off of is those emojis right there. So if it sees that right there, it's gonna assume that it's the title, and then it will create that title right there. And then once it sees this, it knows it's the link, and then it creates a block for the link. Lastly, we just do, like I said, a respond to webhooks. Then you want to do all incoming items, and that is the whole N8N backend setup. Really simple once you understand that HTTP request with API. Everything else just falls in place. And I would definitely tweak the AI agent just so you can get your desired output. Yeah, let's move on to the Lovable and show you guys how to create any interface that you want, especially how it looks, because it's really hard to create interface with Lovable sometimes just based on prompts, because you might want it to look differently, but Lovable will create it so it looks like something completely different. Lovable side, it wasn't a long interaction. If we look at my prompts right here, the first prompt, I just told it to create a simple website that allows you to get a summary of the latest news daily. And if we look at the old one, this is how it looked. It didn't look bad, but I wanted to have like 3 different boxes, which actually looked good. So what I did is I went to UXPilot. This is a really cool AI UI development. You basically just prompt it what you want. In my case, this is what I got, but I told it to design 3 text boxes, colorful blue light mixed with light green, and then it generated this. And what you could do with UXPilot is you could edit, and you could edit each part, so you can tell it, hey, can you make this reddish green or something like that, and then it'll change it individually. The reason I would recommend using this is you could just screenshot what you make on here and then put it on Lovable, and it'll create something really similar, or even like the exact replica. If we look at here, I gave it this one. I gave it this picture that I made earlier, and I told it to remake that whole page to look like this, but make the background lighter color of the 3 boxes. So if we look at this, there's it made like exact replica and also made the background a lighter color of it. So that is really cool. So which means you could create what you want before you go into Lovable, and then just feed it into that screenshot, and it will create exactly what you want. And this has more control. You'll have like more control over how your UI looks. And then I also told it to make it 3 boxes that will receive an important news on. I had to clarify that it's gonna receive three different JSONs, like title, summary, and the link. You can always do that. Just like paste in like a example, tell it uh, what's gonna happen. So like when you receive a similar information from N8N, put the title on the title of the text box, put the summary and the link in the actual text box. So this is how we got from there to this. It also added this. That's pretty cool, the little button, because originally it was just like a link. Yeah, that's the whole process of making your personal news reporter. That's how you create your personal news reporter. So now we can stay up to date. If you guys want that template, I'll have it in the description. I'll see you guys though.